Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They call me Bobby Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I run no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my bar's mine. My tracks flame like a Gamu. The hardest part on my tongue, thinking is a warm blue. I'm a throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up. I'm drinking knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, come be brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the planks, you use Decepticon. Straight rappers to the streets like Cobra. 80s they before they like. Up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle clans get defeated. High in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. To get that honey sauce on me, I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast right now, go ahead and get up, because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And on today, I'm going to go over the latest exposing the Grift video from my man the Birdman. I almost lost my train of thought. Going over Eric July in the concept of tokenism. Obviously he doesn't know what that means, so we're gonna go over it today. Hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel, but you already know how I do. The real question is, are you
say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
all right. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. Of course, Y'all see I got my fatigues on, you know, my no limit, I'm no limit out. Oh man, over there bouncing. That was a good time. I'm not gonna lie. For me, that was a good time last night. Or the other night. I was on Mika G's channel. She did her game night. I think you guys most definitely go check it out. It's real fun. It was real funny, you know. And I just had the verses kind of playing on the side of me. Just listen, okay, they got that song going because I know I was gonna watch it later. And I done watched it twice now. You know what I mean? Like, so it was so much fun, especially nostalgia for me because I was both a No Limit fan and Cash Money fan. So it was awesome, man. I had so much fun until Birdman got up there and started talking. Yeah. And shout out to Mia X too. I'm so glad a lot of people is now putting got Mia X in that conversation, is one of the greatest female MCs alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a fan of Mia X for a really long time. I'm trying to see where this shadow was coming from. Okay, that's coming from this. All right. I'm trying to get I'm rearranging a lot of stuff, so I'm trying to get the lighting right. But you guys, I can see me, and you guys can see me, and I move my camera. So I moved my camera actually back, kind of how I used to have it when I got on TMZ. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm in the vocal or in the spectrum. I got a lot of stuff that I still gotta finish. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad Mia X got her shine. She was battling cancer. She had to cut her hair battling cancer, all of that, but kept it real G. You know what I'm saying? She got her cookbook. She was doing her doing cooking on her on her Instagram, all of that, man. It's just beautiful to see, her finally get her shine, because she gets she gets knocked out of a lot of conversation when it's talking about top female MCs. I'm like, Mia X Benko. And then, her and Juvenile, Juvenile was the energy for Cash Money, but her bringing that energy back, along with everybody else, man, it was just a good time, man. So I had so much fun watching it. Smile from ear. I was smiling like BG. Just, I'm happy to be here. I am very happy to be here. Amen. But yeah, so played a lot of songs, man. That, man, has defined my high school, man. I'm old. I just realized I'm old. But yeah, so anyway, let's get to everybody who was in here, who was in the hizzy for shizzy. The Informant Media, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Alvin Rodriguez, good morning, good morning. So we know the soldiers. I thought I told you. Krishy Key, what's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Duran, Malik Hassan Bey, Wakwan, my brother. What's up? What's up? J. Carter, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Miss Roberta the Church Auntie, good morning, good morning, good morning. My man King Mo from Popcorn and Your Beard, what's up? What's happening? Xavier Phoenix, what's up? What's up? X-Man, what's up? What's up? Andre, where? Another week, another biscuit to taste. Erica D, aka She Loves Fantasy. Good morning, good morning. Junior Network is up here. My God, good morning, good morning. Marley Mars up in here. Good morning, good morning. It's always good. Like, it's a blessing, for real, for real. One thing I was going to make, because I had the weekend off, and I've been doing a lot of cleaning. Just a lot of cleaning. When you work as much as I do, you don't have time. So when I do got time, I'm one of those people. I will clean literally my whole house. Literally basement, closets. It don't matter. I will clean up everything. So I just been really on a cleaning spree. And I'm actually I've rearranged this stuff. I still got figures and stuff like that on the floor, but I'm actually not going to rearrange the back. That's going to stay the way it is. But I've actually condensed a lot of stuff or whatever. And I got this whole area back here that you can't see that's in front of me. I'm redoing this whole area right now. So there's still stuff that needs to go up. and everything. I got my I got my comics back out, the where they supposed to be at. So yeah, got a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about getting a because I do still have comics in boxes, and then I have comics in sleeve, like in like magazine sleeves. So I want to do I want to get a bookshelf that's just dedicated, so I could just put all my comics and books sleeves in just right here. So if I want to go grab something, I ain't got to open up a tub. I can just go grab it, read it, and put it back. So I'm thinking about that. Do I really got $100 and something for the one I want? Not really. So, so yeah, man. CK Smith, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Priscetta's up here. It's good to see you in the morning. Good to see you in the morning. Johnny Rastafari, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh yeah, man. Most definitely is praying for you guys. Most definitely. I just seen that. I'm not gonna lie. You know how you be. I went and I made some I cooked yesterday, and then I finally opened up this red wine from when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The first, not the very first time, but when Chiefs won the Super Bowl, right? In like 2019, 2020 or whatever. I just opened it and poured it and drunk some of it. I didn't see. All I seen was the back of my eyelids for a good 9 hours. I swear to God, that's the best sleep I done had all week. Oh my God, I didn't think it was. So I seen it and then I fell asleep. But I'm most definitely praying for you guys. What I'll be talking about? I just be yapping. Somebody going, because one of these grifters gonna give me like, look at him just talking. You don't even know what he's talking about. Judah Vision, what's up? What's up? These Sizzle, what's up? What's up? Man, they play break them off. Some I almost lost my mind. Tina, aka Minty guys, what's up? Hey, D Stizzle, we I'm gonna rap with you probably later on this week because I might need another biscuit video. Miss Roberta had an idea from Harlem Nights about a biscuit video, so I might have to holler at you this week. Let me see. All right. That's everybody that's up here. All right. So without further ado, of course, let me shout out everybody who is a part of the crew. And most definitely, all the people who subscribe, watch the channel, man. I appreciate you guys. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching, and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mac and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right, and again, shout out to all of the crew members. You could Tina, you could actually, there's a guy who did a whole live stream on his channel. Just put in no limit versus Cash Money versus, and some trust me, you can watch it on YouTube right now before they take it down. But yeah, again, I enjoyed it because I know the history. I've been knowing the history of Cash Money and No Limit. So to actually, it's really Birdman and Master P. That's what it really is. Oh, okay, D Sizzle. But yeah, it's really Birdman and Master P. And Master P was at least, willing. He's looking at it money wise, all of that, doing it for the culture, doing it for the people. He was for it. And Birdman was just there to, like, every time that they played something, Birdman walked off. When he was talking about stunting, it was like, hey, I started that. No. He said, "Oh yeah, well you know I started this. Go ahead, KFC, put it on for me, dear. Yeah, boy, I said you about it. I'm about it." I was dying. I was dying. You know, they did Chopper Style. I ain't heard Chopper Style forever. I literally forgot Chopper was on No Limit. You know what I mean? So yeah, then Snoop came out at the end. You know, it's funny how all them older songs now getting played, like, you know, Blow the Whistle, you know, all of that was hot like in 2000 and 2005, or you know what I'm saying, back in like 2000. They play that at NBA stadiums and stuff like that. They play that football stadium. You know what I'm saying? They play that beat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Half of the people don't know who, they know Snoop. They don't know who Mr. Magic is, and none of them people. And here I am, was a fan every 2 weeks, spending my $20 for a No Limit CD. You know, whether it was Mac, whether it was Cain and Abel, Gambino family, you know, any of them. And I was buying. And then I was buying the Hot Boys, you know what I'm saying? BG, It's All on You, Volume 1 and 2. Oh, come on, stop playing with me. Juvenile, back when he had Soldier Rags. I could go. I used to want to be a No Limit Soldier so bad. I'm not gonna lie. I used to. That's why you hear the beat that I have now. It has a New Orleans sound to it. You know, yeah, that influenced me big time back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, it was dope. That Vegas crowd was trash. I wish they would have held it in New Orleans. If they would have held that in New Orleans, you know what I mean? Oh my God, it would have went. It would have, man. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. He literally saved his whole entire career. And he has to thank Master P for the career he has today. Yeah, Mr. Servo. I was surprised Mr. Servo wasn't there. I really was, because him and Master P been friends since they was kids. Him, Boz, Serve, a couple other people, they've been friends since they were kids. So that's crazy that he wasn't there. But you know what else is crazy? You already know. We got to transition so we can get into this, because this video is like 30 minutes for the reaction. So of course that means I'm gonna be on here for an hour. So let's go ahead. Let's take a quick commercial break, because you already know. We'll be right back with the Dre Mac Show.
We'll be
Right back. It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits.
Whoop de doo.
Take a love to a biscuit, man.
Whoop de doo.
Okay, so what happened is one time Randy Beeman went on a trip with his dad, and they picked up a lady who wanted to ride home, and this was in Kansas. And she sat in the back seat, and when they got where she wanted to go, they turned around and she was gone. And Randy Beeman's dad talked to the man who lived there and told him what the lady looked like. And the man said, "Oh, that's my wife, but she died 4 years ago." Spooky, huh? Okay, bye.
Whoop de doo.
taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Whoop de doo.
Good idea. Visiting the circus. Bad idea. Having the circus visit you.
We now return to the Transformers.
Yeah, I will honestly admit, not having Wayne and Turk there, it was the big timers and the half of the hot boys. That's not. Yeah. If they would have, Wayne was there, it would have been a totally different story. It would have been a totally different. That crowd would have been more hype. I think that's what it was. They were playing. Cash Money was playing songs Wayne knowing he's supposed to be on. and he ain't on there. He ain't there. But I know why he's not there too. So that part sucked. Not even gonna lie to you. Eddie Foster, what's up? What's up? What's up? All right, let's get to it. Exposing the Grift. Eric July doesn't understand tokenism. All right, let's get into it.
Our friend Eric July has returned with another video, this time talking about race and original characters, specifically mentioning this tweet, where a half-black, half-Japanese character has been created with the intention to confront the issues half-black and half-Japanese people encounter while growing up in Japan. Eric shows this quote tweet where Night Mode Season confronts racists that say to create original...
Wow. Y'all can read it for yourself. I'm not even going to read that back. Read that back. But I'm looking at it. Racist ends be like, well, racist ends be like, stop black washing characters, make your own characters. But when a end makes their own characters, y'all get mad.
Black characters, and by extension stop race swapping. But when those characters are created, those same racists
what up,
still
Kid Gravity? What's
as you can
good?
See by our friend Kong Min Lee chiming in with his unemployed take.
Jesus,
and no, I don't consider being hired by other racist loser rags to be employed. For example,
you know what's funny? Right before I let the Birdman go, which is funny. Because it's Cash Money. I'm doing Birdman. Yeah, get it? I mean, but his name wasn't Baby. What up, Kid Gravity? Good to see you up in here. What's up? What's up? Of course, it's B1 always. And shout out to my man Torian Rain Reloaded, Mika G, and Blue. Shout out to all of them. First of all, skip Kim and Lee. Who cares what he's talking about? I actually watched a YouTube documentary. Or I think it was just like basically Man on the Street, but it was in Japan. Broken Berlin, what's up? Good morning. Good morning, Book of a Wimpy Kid. Good morning, good morning. But I watched a greetings from Germany. Shout out to Germany in the house. Germany showing love. That's what's up. But I watched this video because you know how you go down the rabbit hole. So I seen this girl. They did like the Man on the Street, but it was in Japan, and the girl was half Japanese, half black. I think her father was Nigerian and her mother was Japanese. And she just talked about her experience there, stuff like that with dating, all of that, whatever, speaking fluent Japanese, all of that. And I just went down the rabbit hole. I should start watching people. And I was like, it started to make me think about like how people's experience is different. It's the same, but it's in a different point of view. And they would just talk about how people in Japan don't even know they're Japanese until they start talking. And sometimes it's like, it's not the racism that you deal with, like old school racism from America. Not like that. It's just, the way they start treating you, they may be a little, so she said sometimes they're a little mean. Sometimes they're just a little curious. Sometimes they want to touch your hair. All of these other things. So there is an experience that it needs to be explored, and I commend them for even making a character that exploits that demographic in Japan that is not really spoken about, and how there is a big Japanese culture that loves Black America. Then you got people out there, wearing their pants like cholos, but crip walking and all of that. You know what I'm saying? In Dickies and khakis and all of that, khaki suits. Like, you know what I mean? Who they get that from? You know what I'm saying? Walking around, blowing their hair out, wearing afros. Who they get that from? You know what I mean? They know how big our influence is over there and how much their influence is over here. So it's almost like this is a way for that community and that conversation to get out there. But of course, grifters gonna grift. Let's keep going.
Is being the secretary for a Grand Wizard of the KKK really a job? All that tells me is that you can't be employed by regular people in normal society, but I'm digressing. Given that I am uniquely suited to talk about this topic, I thought it could be interesting to provide a rebuttal for Eric's points, so let's take a listen.
Now, if you've been following me, you know I've spoke about this a countless amount of times. A lot of videos that I used to do on YouTube was talking about token.
I thought he quit. Then he wasn't supposed to quit. Hey, we're starting all over again.
What some call maybe blackwashing, you know, taking these characters that are
God.
classically or have been classically
Shut
portrayed in one way,
up.
and they swap them, and oftentimes it's for social or political reasons.
Incorrect. First of all, Eric is misusing the word tokenization. Tokenism, in its correct sociological context,
Hit him, Birdman.
is the practice of a company or a business making a hollow attempt at giving the appearance of racial or gender equality. And it's important to emphasize the hollowness of the attempt. If you don't understand, just watch a scene from this underrated 21st century classic film.
I am the token black guy. I'm just supposed to smile, stay out of the conversation, and say things like, damn.
What's up, Wavy
shit,
James?
And that is whack.
A few moments later.
Why is it every time I tell a guy they can put it wherever they want, they always stick it in my ass?
Oh, damn.
A few moments later.
After they're done, I always take a huge dump.
Shit!
A few moments later.
On their chest.
Oh, that is whack.
As you can see.
Oh, my man, Bud. Hey, spot on though. Oh man, what was that? Dang, I used to have that movie too. That spoof movie. I can't think of the name of it. Was it Not Another Teen Movie? That's what it is. But yeah, spot on.
Tokenism is the usage of black people and other minority groups as window dressing, and not an earnest attempt at including them in the important aspects of that business or media property. A minimal acceptance, in other words. Tokenism is hypocrisy. One little student in the University of Mississippi, that's hypocrisy. A handful of students in Little Rock, Arkansas is hypocrisy. All this little tokenism that is dangled in front of the Negro, and then he's told, see what we are doing for you, Tom? What
This is what, hey, check this out. This is real talk. This is one of the reasons why when you listen to the debates from people on the left, on the right, they was like, look, you had this. You had a black president. You don't need reparations. You had a black president. You already got people that's doing things. What more do you want? Why do you keep screaming that you're so oppressive? You're so oppressed. Why is Tom over here in running this Fortune 500 company? One out of millions, one out of thousands, but they will always point to the token, to the exception of the rule, and still tell you need to lace yourself up by your bootstraps. When in some places, I'm not saying all, listen to what I'm saying. In some places, they still use certain type of oppressionary tactics, to keep people from moving up in certain companies. It's widely known. You know what I mean? This is why when you start talking about DEI and all of that stuff, you got to be very careful. You got to really understand what you're talking about, because you could be able to poke the holes in DEI. You could poke the holes in all of that stuff. A lot of them don't want to hear that, though, because they want to just point up the fact that Tom's here. Why aren't you? You're complaining, but Jack's here. Why aren't you? You're complaining that so-and-so is here, and all you're doing is playing the victim card. That's where the conversations you will hear. In any grifter that most definitely listen, you will hear those same conversations.
Doing here is referring to legacy characters and characters that are race or gender swapped as tokens. On its face, this doesn't make any sense given the context I just added. Nick Fury was a so-called race swap. Do you feel that this character was simply window dressing in the MCU? That they cast Samuel L. Jackson because they needed black representation?
Exactly.
Or did they do that because Nick Fury was made black in the Ultimate Universe?
Yes.
Because the writer, Mark Miller, just thought Samuel L. Jackson was cool. The difference is an earnest attempt. This is why calling characters like Miles Morales, Sam Wilson, and Riri Williams tokens makes no sense. There have been earnest attempts at these legacy characters.
Exactly. And Miles Morales, Sam Wilson, and Riri Williams are all original created characters. Rather, they take whether one was taking over the moniker as far as Miles Morales, he took over the moniker of Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. Sam Wilson has been the Falcon, but he took the moniker of Captain America in the comics. Riri Williams being Ironheart. You know what I mean? Still, that's an original character with original IP. She was just the ward or the understudy of of Iron Man. She didn't become Iron Man. It's not like they put Riri Williams and she became Iron Man. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons why I was going so hard at the brother, can't think of his name, but whatever, when he was like, oh, Ironheart is a DEI woke shit because it's DEI or whatever, and you don't know what you're talking about. It's always a context to everything. So when you take it out of context to push your narrative, that is what we call a grift, period.
This is the problem with Eric's position.
What's
he
up, Kendall
attributes
Jordan?
malice without any evidence,
Absolutely.
suggesting that these characters only exist for political reasons. Referring to black characters in these properties as tokens insinuates that being white is the default, and therefore black characters have to justify their existence in a story, otherwise they're token.
Exactly.
This would imply that Eric himself is a token.
Exactly.
The group.
Indian, like I said, it was another grifter I went after who loved Eric July. Wanted to be Eric July. You know what I'm saying? You're not. But why would you want to be why would you want to be the only chocolate chip in this sugar cookie in the group of this sugar cookie? Like, seriously, when their whole thing is, disrespect to black people, but this is what it is. And it's coming from those whose political ties eventually end up on the right. Y'all, there's not saying that there's no leftist racism, because there is, but it's a shame that y'all have no shame on the far right going the way that y'all go. Y'all have no shame whatsoever.
He associates himself with are majority white men. Has he justified his own existence in these spaces? Or is he the resident house nigga doing their bidding? Speaking of that, allow me to digress for a moment, dear viewer. I made a video about Eric 2 months ago, where I called Eric a house nigga in that video. In response, a couple of small...
I'm about to say, I think that video got me, it didn't get me demonetized. It was just not great for all ads or something. I wouldn't get any ad revenue from that, and I probably won't get any ad revenue from that. So, off of this one too. So, if y'all don't mind hitting the super chats up, that'd be great.
Frankly irrelevant content creators that have made it their personal goal to misrepresent me and my positions because they are upset that I call out bigotry in this series have taken to calling me racist for calling Eric this phrase. Obviously.
And I always got Birdman's back when it comes to this. Why one of the reasons why I really started doing this the Birdman reaction videos, because there were people that was doing Birdman videos that was like Spooning, like video head, Kino Flex, and these other dudes, and I was like, well, who's really representing Birdman? Let me make sure that I got Birdman's back, because I completely understand what he's doing. Now, yes, I do know what's going on, Ivan, and yes, Utterly Noah has hit me up in my chat too. And so shout out to Utterly Noah. I did a reaction video to him. So I told him I will be doing more reaction videos to his stuff too. But let's just, for the sake of argument, let's see what house in really mean. I know this is gonna be wild, but let's understand. Let's break down context. Let's break down context. So we know the historical. So when people come to my channel, when they see me doing this reaction video, they'll know exactly what we do here. What we try to do is listen, get the context, and make sure that I'm educating you guys on said context if you do not understand. So the historical context of this, well, let's just use AI. Let's just use AI because I haven't seen this, but if we use Malcolm X's analysis, we're going to use that. So we're going to use this whole entire thing so you understand what we call another black person a house nigga. You understand. Now, white folks don't repeat that, but don't you repeat it. But we call them house ends. You know why we are calling another black man that. Let's go. The phrase house nigger is a deeply offensive racial slur with roots in the history of slavery in the United States. It is used to insult a black person perceived as being subservient to or overly willing to please white people. The term originates from a hierarchy opposed by slave owners to divide enslaved people and maintain control. Now, first of all, we do not call, for one, that's not racist. It's bigotry. Well, no. Yeah, it's bigotry, but it's not racist because racism is rooted in oppression. I can't keep another person from getting a job. Well, technically, there's some people in Hollywood that are black that can keep you from being the next Black Panther, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But I can't, me calling you that does nothing. It doesn't oppress you. Racism is built on oppression and, again, subserviency, right? So I got to be a servant unto you to be able to get somewhere where I need to be. I can't do that with somebody else if we on equal footing, right? So it's a bigoted term. It's a, but as far as racial, I don't agree with that. It's something that, because of when you have the historical context to it, it's not something we made up either. So me calling another person that doesn't do anything for them. I didn't make the word up. But anyway, historical context. During the era of chattel slavery, slave owners often distinguish between two groups of enslaved people. House slaves, enslaved individuals who perform domestic tasks inside the master's house, such as cooking, cleaning, and serving. They were often perceived as having better treatment, clothing, or living conditions than field slaves, which fosters distrust among other enslaved people. This is where when people start understanding the black psychology, people have to understand that a lot of our forefathers, especially my grandmother, would have been in her hundreds now. She passed away, but the ones that came before us came out of the late 1800s going into the newly birthed 20th century. Being free still had to do with the mentality of the house and the field slave. And they took that mentality to certain places and even implanted it between each other and caused, combativeness amongst each other. The ones they felt that was getting ahead, they would call them a house. They'll call them a house slave or a house nigga. You know what I'm saying? The ones they felt like that was filthy, dirty, dark skin, all of that, they'll treat them like field slaves. You know what I mean? Or treat them like a field nigga. You know what I'm saying? So this is some of the things, the psychology of our history that we had to break amongst ourselves, right? But some of us still take the approach of the house slave a lot because I don't want to, they always say, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to offend anybody. But then when you're talking about historical documentation, you're telling the truth, it's going to hurt regardless. But no, I want to ride the fence because I want to still have a certain group of people like me. Instead of telling the truth and shaming the devil, instead of telling the truth and freeing your mind with knowledge and understanding in a way, a solid standard way to move forward, because I'm teaching. So now that you know, how do we move forward from here? No, I want to ride that fence. And that's where a lot of times, or you get the pleaser. That's why a lot of times they talk about Candace Owens. They talk about the Cartier family and all these other people, because you can see it in real time. And they don't understand the historical documentation, the historical context, the historical struggle that black people had to do just to like each other. Let's keep going. All right. Let me see. Field slaves, the slave individuals who perform manual labor in the fields. They had to endure harsher conditions, and their living standards were significantly lower than those of the house slaves. Malcolm X's analysis in his 1963 speech, Mentioned to the Grassroots, civil rights leader Malcolm X popularized the use of the historical distinction to criticize contemporary black people who he viewed as accommodating to white power structures. He described the house Negro as having a physiological attachment to the master, even defending the master's home against other enslaved people. He contrasted this with the field Negro who resented the slave master and desired freedom. The analogy framed political disagreements within the black community, where house Negro became a pejorative term for someone seen as betraying their community for the personal gain or the please white authority. We see this a lot. We see this a lot. That instead of telling the truth, no, I grift. This is the reason why we going at Thumbhead. This is the reason why we're going at Eric July. We see what you doing for. If there wasn't no money in it, you wouldn't do it. If it wasn't no money in it, they wouldn't do it. But because they can make millions and boost their political standards and standings, and they can be able to get in the rooms and stuff like that and rub elbows with these people, they're playing themselves. That's why I said one of the greatest books that you should ever read is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Literally ain't that long of a book. You can listen to it on Amazon. You probably can listen to it on YouTube. You know why? Because it actually teaches you this. Way before Malcolm X came along, is teaching you this analogy. Whether you was a Republican or a Democrat, whether you in the Christian church or you're in the Muslim community, it doesn't even matter. If you ride the fence and you are against people's progression of trying to just have a better way of life, then you're an enemy of the people. Facts. All right. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get back to the video. In minor context, the phrase continues to be a provocative and inflammatory insult used to critic. I will call it an insult. I won't call it whatever, a racial term unless somebody else from another community is telling us. But when we go back and forth with each other, it's an insult. Used to criticize a black person's actions or political stance. This suggests that the person has sold out. You know why they sell out? Because it's money. You wouldn't have to sell out if it wasn't no money. You wouldn't have to kiss ass and bootleg and jigaboo and all of that other stuff if there was no money in it. If there was no political stance or somebody trying to prop you up, wouldn't none of these people grift. These people that are black, they wouldn't grift. But now that they see it's a way for them to be, on stages and get 1 million subscribers and all of that, I'm trying to tell you, it's. And then, if you notice, they got to play to their audience. They still got to placate to their audience. This is the reason why I like this Grift series so much, and how hey, look, I'm gonna have Birdman's back. I'm gonna have Birdman's back. Unless he say something crazy about me, I'm always have Birdman's back. Because I see exactly why they grift. I see it. But anyway. All right, so it suggests that the person has sold out or is overly loyal to white individuals or institutions at the expense of their own community. The phrase carries heavy historical weight related to slavery and systematic racism and is highly inflammatory. That's what it is. Let's get back to the video. Oops.
Obviously, anyone with more than 16 brain cells will see right through this attempt to slander me, but for the sake of clarity, I'm going to explain this term, and while I will continue using it for people like Eric July and others like him. First of all, I am a Black American. I am proud of this heritage, and I was taught to love myself by my parents and grandparents.
Facts.
This being the case, I occasionally speak African American vernacular English in my videos, otherwise known as Black slang or pejoratively, Ebonics.
Facts.
This is a language that Black Americans speak amongst themselves and occasionally otherwise. It has its own syntax, phonology, and vocabulary that is more or less understood by the majority of Black Americans. So-called internet slang has borrowed heavily from Black American English. Words like woke, canceled, and bruh are Black American English terms that have been appropriated by other groups. A very recent example of the co-opting of Black American English is the term Black fatigue, which was coined by a Black author to refer to the toll racism takes on Black people.
Again, all facts. And it's so funny how they'll take our language, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we move, all of that, and try to coin it as their own. And then when we call you out about it, get mad. How you gonna get mad? I seen a right-wing dude who was a super Trump supporter out here rapping with goals in his mouth. Who are you really trying to be? But he was rapping about Charlie Kirk and how he was gonna get those who did it. What's going on? What am I missing? What am I missing? I'm confused.
I am Mary Frances.
What up,
Winters.
Justice Note?
I am the author of Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit. Over the last few days, I have seen quite a bit of chatter online in social media.
You're right on time, Justice
about
Note.
what Black fatigue really means. I understand that there are some white people who are claiming to have Black fatigue. They're claiming that they are tired of Black people.
I'm tired of
y'all.
y'all.
Let me set the record straight. I wrote and coined the term Black fatigue to describe the mental, the physical, and the psychological manifestation of racism on Black people and how fatiguing it is. As a matter of fact,
good one.
Having to respond to the co-opting of the term Black fatigue is absolutely fatiguing. Black Fatigue is a well-researched book that highlights that there are actually physiological manifestations that are passed down from generation to generation for Black.
This is what I was getting at, where I was talking about the house Negro versus the field Negro, and how that because of slavery, because of ripping the families apart and all of that, how that has wore down our community, how that has us butt heads with each other. Why there's a Malcolm X on one side and a Candace Owens on another one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to just trying to crap on the sister like that, but we know how she, where she's at now, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we know what we were talking about. You get tired. You do get tired of that mess. You know, my grandmother literally told me she had a 3rd grade education. You know why? Because her parents were still sharecroppers in Mississippi. And what they had to do was go out there and pick cotton and all of that. That scene in Sinners, when they were still out there picking cotton, that was my grandma out there still picking cotton in Mississippi as a kid. Didn't really get an education or nothing like that because she had to survive. You know, cleaning up white folks' houses and stuff like that to make ends meet. All of this stuff. This is literally what we had to go through. People don't understand the psychological toll that took on from grandparent to parent to child. And sometimes the overcompensation that a lot of the parents, one thing that I'm going to be real with you. One thing that I had to face as a parent, you know, is not overcompensating my children. Is still trying to teach them the values of $1 and stuff like that, just based on what I've been through, just based on the conversations me and my grandmother had. I wouldn't have knew my Black history of being so strong in my Black history if it wasn't for my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Birdman in the building. What's up, my guy? And make sure if you have it, which I always shout out, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the to the Birdman's channel. Shout out to him. And man, take me on your flight with you though, bro, because I want to go. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, this is the things that we had to experience throughout generations, especially the ones who grew up in the hood, grew up in conditions and stuff like that was unfavorable. So we really had to get it out the mud to go get it. Y'all don't understand it. Why, last night just watching Master P and all of them doing their thing, because Master P was literally the blueprint of how you could go get it if you understand and hustle. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Same thing with Birdman. Go out there and go get it. But that's just an anomaly, because for every Birdman, there's somebody out there that didn't get it because they don't understand and they got obstacles and different things like that. That is based on what we had to go through in our own neighborhoods that comes from slavery. That's where it comes from. So I'm shout out to the Birdman for even putting Mary Frances Winters on here, because she's explaining exactly what we've been through and how we're trying to get there. Let's keep going.
People relative to the stress that Black fatigue causes. Now, white people may be fatigued. I am not going to try to get into someone else's lived experience, but I would ask you not to get into ours either. How would you know that Black people have not experienced the fatigue that we speak about if you've not lived in our shoes? I don't know what your experience is, but I know that it's not Black fatigue.
I said all that to say that the term house nigga or house Negro is, surprise, surprise, a Black American English term that refers to a very specific type of behavior from certain Black people.
What's up, Rashad Walker?
It refers to Black white supremacists and is a term rooted in the days of slavery, where the slave master would divide his slaves into two groups, those that worked in the house and those that worked in the field. Because the house Negro worked in the house with the master, they were treated a little bit better than those that worked in the field. And because of this preferential treatment, the house Negro would essentially do the bidding of the master and himself treat the field Negro more or less the exact same way the master would, causing a schism between the two. I'll let Malcolm X explain it for you.
Yep. And that's why I wanted to read it first before we sub. HBK Hot Boy 713, what up? That's why I wanted to read it first, so we can break down so you can see it in layman's terms, so you can read it for yourself. You know what I mean? And we can explain the reason why, again, that when we see things like this and we are woke, we are awake to the things that are going on. You know what I mean? That's why, bam, you know what I'm saying? Woke guy, you know what I mean? So the reason why we do it, for the simple fact, is that when you see our people continue to divide our people, just like the slave master did with the house and field Negro, you got to call it out. You got to call it out. Some people say, why do you waste your time? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Because that's more dangerous than anything. You see what I mean? That's more dangerous than anything, because now you're in danger in our community. Now we can't grow because now you're the obstacle, not a white man. The white man ain't got to do it. He ain't got to go in blackface and shoe booty and all of that. You're doing it. So when we go after you, when we say things and we put it out there, you can't get mad. You already knew that smoke was coming. Let's keep going.
To read the history of slavery to understand this, there were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check.
Yup.
He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. Mm-hmm. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. Mm-hmm. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. Mm-hmm. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He was
Brother Malcolm, if you've never read his autobiography, you are missing out. You are missing out. James Baldwin's book too. Check, man. Let me not start, because I get to.
When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes. They ate the worst food.
He sure did.
And they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master.
Absolutely,
yes,
Birdman.
If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes.
And again, this is the reason why, you know, like I said, Birdman's in here. I'm going to defend the Birdman 120% for the simple fact is that these people help divide our community, whether it's the comic book community, whether it's just the black community, whatever. You are an enemy of progress. And anybody who's an enemy of progress, especially when it comes to black people, you are an enemy of me. And you got to come see me. You going to get to smoke.
So as you can see, this is a real term that we have been using for hundreds of years in this country. It has appeared in songs.
What up, Jay Ward?
Rich nigga, po nigga, house nigga, field nigga.
Movies.
Run away. I'm not going anywhere. This is the house Negro. In those days, we called him the house nigga.
And that's what we call him today because we still got a lot of house niggas running around here.
And various other forms of media. The character of Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks is what we would call a house Negro due to his clear self-hatred and disdain for other black people. The character of Steven from Django Unchained is a literal take on the house Negro, where you can clearly see the way house slaves behave towards field slaves and even Django himself, a free black man.
Who this nigga
what up, Caliber?
I'll snatch your black ass off that nag down here in the mud so fast make your head. Steven.
Hey, look. When somebody say I'm a free black man, I'm a free thinking black man, I'm free thinking. That's exactly who I was like. Ooh, that nigga on that neck. Shots.
See. Django here is a freeman. This nigga.
What up, Rico?
People like Eric July uphold white supremacist talking points and do the bidding of white supremacists by denigrating other black people, essentially doing their job for them. Eric has befriended an obvious racist piece of garbage in Ass from Heel vs. Babyface, runs a podcast with him, and hired him to write for his comic book company. Coupled with the nonsense Eric has said about black people and black characters in fiction, this is why I call him what I called him. House Negroes are a barrier to equality for black Americans, something we have literally been dealing with since slavery, and it's important for us to identify these people so that those who are unaware don't fall for this form of grift.
Facts.
So, if it isn't clear, a black man calling another black man a house nigga or any other version of this term like tap dancer or even trash panda is not racism. That's not what racism means.
Thank you.
This is like calling gay people homophobic when they call each other the F word.
Exactly.
That's just a part of their culture. This term is our culture, black American culture. This black American man is being told that he's off code.
Facts. Now, you already know I always play this video anytime it comes to Eric July. Because Eric July, remember he went at Black Sands Entertainment, and this is one of my let me see, this was one of the earliest videos. Let me go find that. Y'all know which video I'm gonna play when he was just talking about there's somebody playing against the race and talking about the race and race. And this is what you do. This is literally what you do for a living. You know what I mean? You diss black people, then got mad when Black Sands Entertainment diss you. You know what I'm saying? Called you a Sambo. You called him a sucker for that. Because it could have been an opportunity and another black man about to cry. What you crying for? What you crying for? And all you do is talk crazy about black people. This is what you do for a living. Where is the video at? Where is the video? Okay. Yeah, let's say I don't forget. I don't forget nothing. I come with receipts. CVS receipts. Y'all remember this.
have a conversation about that, because you're trying to make a claim that's a negative connotation based upon my race. So what we have here is a black man disparaging another black man based upon his race, right? Not because he's just this ain't well, we disagree and therefore he's disagreeing because he's black. No, we saw the receipts of this person actually referring to me to a derogatory term that is playing on the race. Okay, so a black man disparaging another black man because he's black and doing something, and maybe because
Kid Gravity,
got some like crown that you think you have because you're the #1 black publisher, and maybe overnight that kind of changed.
Yeah, hold up, wait a minute. Now you see how he was crying about the race, and he was using the black man about the race. What was he calling Miles Morales? What was he calling Miles Morales? Now, for the people who are new to Eric July and you know and all of that, and maybe they were just looking, he put something up about Miles Morales and all of that. Hey, Birdman, I need you to say that on the video though. I need you to say that on the video. You say that, I'm gonna lose it on the reaction. But remember what he was saying about Miles Morales? And now he's over here about the race. This was 3 years ago. This was literally 3 years ago. Y'all forgot people. That's what I said. Eric think people forgot. No, we ain't forgot. We ain't nobody forgot. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Understand what I just said in the previous sentence.
Yeah, Peter Darker.
Have a seat and stay your monkey ass out of black folk business. End of digression.
But there was a post that I see that came from Viz Media. There's been a lot
of J Word?
Conversations being had here, and I wanted to chime in on it. Let's just get right into it. If you guys can see it here, you'll see that Viz made an announcement on October 17th.
Dude is trash.
Being mixed race in Japan, like Kazubi, means facing daily trials of racism, microaggressions, and otherness. This is a journey of resilience, hope, and the search for coexistence. Half is More, Volume 1 by Yoiko Fujimi. Now, there's been this response that I'm looking at right now. There's someone that quotes and says, "Stop blackwashing characters, make your own characters," saying basically others say that. And then he says, "But when they make their own characters, y'all get mad." Well, that unfortunately completely misrepresents what people have been saying about this subject matter, and it totally misses the point here.
This is one of the most...
Hold on, wait a minute. Before you go, Birdman, my man needs to cut his arm hair, man. God, dog, do you see? You see the arm hair on the shoulders? Like, you ain't think about, like, manscaping that joint? Like, yeah, I know I'm a hairy dude, but God, dog.
disingenuous framings of this issue, and I see this all the time. A black character is introduced in a piece of media, racists predictably go apeshit, people call out the blatant racism, and then people like Eric say that they're being misrepresented or that people are missing the point. No, they're not. They're calling out the racism. If you feel called out by someone calling out racism, then that's a you problem, and you should probably reflect on why that is. I mean, when women speak out on sexual assault, I don't get angry about the topic, and that's probably because I have never sexually assaulted anyone. Besides, it is you, Eric, that is missing the point.
Exactly.
Which is
exactly,
black
y'all.
characters get shit on no matter what.
Exactly.
If they are original characters, people on your side call them woke or token.
Yep.
If they are legacy characters, people on your side refuse to call them by their mantle or say that the original characters are being erased.
Exactly.
There is no way for black characters to win. That's the point.
That's it. It's not as nuanced as what some people may think. It's really simple if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of things. Okay.
I'm sorry, his arm
there
hair
is the more
right
blatant
now.
aspect of it all. Obviously, folks take exception to seeing these tokenizations. But there's another thing that we talked about as well. When these original black characters are created, if they are not, let's say, based upon some other, again, classically non-black character, oftentimes you get the heavy reliance upon these tropes in which a core part of their storyline narrative is dealing with race, racism, some sort of thing in that nature, and it's boring. Let's be completely honest.
How you gonna how you gonna tell somebody else's experience that they're boring? Like, just think about that. Just think about that for just a second. You're going, I'm telling you, let me see if I can find the video that I watched. I think this was one of them. Well, because it was a girl who was actually mixed race. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find it just real quick. So bear with me for a little bit. But it was a young lady who was black and Japanese, and she was just telling her experience. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think this is. Hold up. You mean? Damn, hold on. Hold on. Cause I ain't gonna lie, the sister's fine. But just this is boring, but this is somebody's experience. Let's just again, let's keep it for context. This is boring, it's played out, yada yada yada. But this is a young lady in Japan that's mixed race, black and Japanese. Listen to her experience. And I think it was Oriental Pearl. I think she has a bigger YouTube
You feel like a
channel.
foreigner in your own country. People don't look at me as Japanese. I never really feel like I fit in Japan, even though I grew up. I was born, grew up, raised in Tokyo, but that's just story of my life.
So you're trying to invalidate. This is what I don't understand about people like Eric July and all of this stuff. You're trying to invalidate this sister or the brother or anything experience because you don't want to hear it. Well, turn the TV off. Don't read it. Don't have to engage with it. The thing that I had a problem with Grifters and Riri Williams. If you don't like Riri Williams, don't watch it. Nobody's telling you to watch it. But what you're doing is this is an opportunity for you to shit on a black woman. That's what it really is. This is so you can get your numbers up. You could be like, see, you see the tokenism, but yet you want to invalidate this sister or that brother or somebody else that's dealing with the same thing. You want to invalidate their experience. So now they can't get their story told because it doesn't fit what you want to read. Well, don't read it. It doesn't fit what you want to see, but don't watch it. That's the ridiculous part of all of this.
Do you have any negative experiences? Sometimes taxi driver in Tokyo, they're kind of mean. This taxi driver guy was telling, my friend, ちょっとこいつにちゃんと日本語教えとけ. Yeah, like teach this punk Japanese. And I was like, okay. By the way, I know Japanese. I could understand that you're insulting me. I mean, by the way, I think I'm nicer than you, and I'm Japanese, and Did you say that to him? You feel like a foreigner in your own country.
I mean, for one, it's just fine, but just keeping it a buck. But but what kills me is that these people want to be so right, so bad. You see what I mean? They want to be so right, so bad. Again, like I said, a lot of these people use the same thing. Puma Lee, what's up? A lot of these people use the same tactics that, brother Kevin Samuel said, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. When you listen to these people grift, that's what you hear. But then when I do a reaction video to Birdman, they be like, oh, well, you just, Birdman being funny, I'm just being funny. No, if you want to get to me, if you want me to understand where you're coming from, hit him with facts. Rebuttal him with facts. You can't rebuttal him with facts, so you're trying to just basically do what he do. But then trying to cop for Neurotic or the Critical Drinker or Eric July or Thumbhead or any of these people, you're going to miss me because you are not going to beat him with facts because you have none. Birdman, thank you for the $20 super chat. Man, my brother, thank you so very much. Got to board my flight, but wanted to support the work. We'll watch the rest later when I land in Tokyo. Much love, my brother. Hey, much love to you, man. I still wanted to fit in your you could have told me I could have fit somewhere so I can go. But shout out, have fun, be safe in Tokyo, man. Enjoy yourself. You know what? Because my man is over here going to Tokyo. We got my man, Thumbhead, tasting the biscuits.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Appreciate you, Birdman, man, for stopping in and watching the live, man. Safe journeys, my brother. All right, let's keep going. If I'm ruining the video because I don't know what oh yeah, this is the first time this is the first time Birdman been here. So he has no idea. He has no idea to taste the biscuits that I got. Oh man. But if I ruin the rest of the video, I don't know. This is my first time watching it. Y'all know I watch these videos and react to it in live time. So Roger L. Heron, what's up?
It's predictable.
This is clearly not true, as there is a wide variety of black characters in media. You have characters like Sam Wilson in the MCU, who very rarely, if at all, speaks about race in stories that feature him. And yes, you have characters like Huey Freeman in the Boondocks, where racism does play a part in his stories. Yep. The problem is, as I said before, and what Night Mode Season was saying, you people complain about these characters no matter what. The Acolyte, a Star Wars television show, was completely shit on by racists. Show had literally nothing to do with race at all.
It didn't. And I defended the hell out of that. And one of the reasons why I did it, I understood the Star Wars fans. So shout out to Chill, shout out to Planet Fanatics Darius for playing, because they're real Star Wars fans. So I never argue with them as far as, being Star Wars fans. I was arguing with people who were just shitting on it because black people was in it, or because they had a black lead or whatever. I can understand. People going to, what up, Blue? I can understand people going to the extreme on it because they didn't like the lore and stuff like that. They were establishing or taking away from the lore or whatever. My biggest thing was I seen what folks were doing. So I'm going to make sure to defend this because I could tell what the Grift is doing, so.
But because it featured a black protagonist, racists had a field day. And when they were called out, they fell back on obvious lies like, well, the writing was bad, and that's why I disliked it. Now, the writing could have possibly been bad, but that's not why those people were saying that. As I said in the very first video in this series, this is the plausible deniability that these people resort to in order to not be labeled what they truly are.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and react to the old videos. Also, I know I forgot where I picked up at. I think I picked up at Tyrone Magnus, but I'm gonna go back and react to the old videos and give you guys a series on that one too, sometime in the future.
Anti-black bigots and misogynists. And we know that's what these people are because they were saying these things before the show even released. You yourself, Eric, have flipped on Miles Morales when you learned that leaning into the hatred of black characters was profitable. We have you on fucking video, so we know that you are not being honest here and are once again doing the bidding of white supremacists. Further, so what if black characters explore racism in their stories? Racism is a constant issue black people face. We are inundated with racist people and their attitudes on a near daily basis. Police stop us because we are driving while black. Due to redlining and other historic systemic issues, we face poverty at a much higher rate than other groups. We can't even go online and share our ideas without being hit with constant racial epithets and denigration. This is our lived experience, and that's why we talk about it so much. What a privilege it must be to not have to deal with this stuff and therefore talk about this stuff, huh? Besides, what's it to you? This entire video is about a manga that will be released in Japan. Why do you even care that this story exists and that there is a conversation about it? I mean, when I don't like or am not interested in something, I don't even think about it, let alone make a YouTube video about it.
I really don't. If I don't like something or I don't like somebody, man, they're erased out of my head. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. That's literally why I made this.
I don't care.
Literally, if I see something that I don't like,
I don't care.
If I watch something that I don't like, it doesn't rock with me.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't give a flub, because what does it have to do with me? It doesn't pay my rent. It doesn't pay my car note. I'm trying to get some cold air intakes put in my car. It ain't helping me buy that, so I don't care. I don't care. So why would I make a video about something I'm never going to read or care about?
Mode season is simply talking about a reality. People complain no matter what if a black character is involved.
Exactly.
For some reason, these guys have not figured it out. A lot of people have not figured it out, especially
you haven't figured out how to cut that hair on your arm.
Front-facing entertainment properties. They have not figured out the fact that you can create a character that just happens to be black, and they can have other things about them that are intriguing. And sure, that takes a lot of work.
So F their shared experience is what you're saying. So the X-Men, when they were written by Chris Claremont, and their whole experience about being a mutant, F that. There's other shared experience that you could go through. We need to be on one accord. Why do we have to talk about racism all the time? Why do we have to talk about this? You know who you sound just like the white folks that you defended. Why do we got to talk about race? Why everything got to be about the race? But then wasn't he just crying about somebody using something about his race? See how that works? See when it's comfortable for him? When somebody was talking about his race, how comfortable it was for him to be able to say, oh, well, you know, he's just talking about the race. Well, maybe because I took the #1 spot and you don't have it no more. Yeah. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
It may take even years, decades even, for some of these characters to catch on. Absolutely.
But they do make those characters. Literally, the tweet you've made into this video is talking explicitly about that.
Exactly.
I mentioned The Acolyte earlier. It featured original characters whose story wasn't centered around their ethnicity, and it still got shit on.
Exactly.
And once again, before the clowns that try to chalk that response up to bad writing, these people were complaining about the show before it ever released. And we know these people never even watched the show because they were reading these reviews on a 2008 film called Acolytes, a completely different property that had nothing to do with Star Wars. People like The Critical Drinker had videos counting the Padawans in the trailer, looking for white male characters, proving definitively that these people's issue with these properties are the actor's identity. And they then later...
See what I'm saying? You see how many views that they getting? See how many subscribers he got? All for trying to see if white people was in here. All to see a white, it was funny. He's not gonna count the amount of female white women that's in here, which again, you know who benefits from DEI? But this is what Thumbhead and all the rest of these, the Eric July, they want this type of views. They want that type of money. If y'all don't know how YouTube works, the more views you get, the more they can run ads. The more ads that they run, the more you get paid. When you start getting up to the millions, you're making money. You're making money. That's the reason why they do. That's the reason why the Grift is so easy for them, because they're not looking at what's right or what's wrong. They're looking at that dollar sign, baby.
Seek out issues to cloak their bigotry and justify their hatred.
I mean, I definitely had fun playing a particularly challenging game of Spot the White Guy with this trailer, because damn man, this one shows enough to fulfill Disney's entire DEI quota for the next 2 fiscal years. For example, check out this collection of Jedi Padawans and see if you can identify the one demographic that's mysteriously left out.
Oh, God.
Then People like you come out and do damage control, telling everyone who can clearly see the issue with racism and misogyny that you are all being misrepresented and that everyone is missing the point. Yeah, fucking right.
But this reliance upon their race and saying that they basically have to deal with that
drunk mouth, I like
of it,
that.
people often reject it.
I know.
Translation: bigots don't like to face criticism of bigotry. News at 11. If you're tired of hearing about people fighting racism all the time, perhaps it's time to join the fight, Master Chief, and end racism so you don't have to hear about it ever again. You write comics about superheroes, for fuck's sake. What are your heroes fighting against if not injustice?
Exactly.
So you're not necessarily creating this original character, or rather you're relying on this trope that people find off-putting and boring.
Trope? Again, I just showed you just one example of a young lady in Japan that is sharing her experience. They're getting ready to write a manga in Japan about a character sharing their experience. When she reads that manga, is she not going to identify with that character because she has to deal with said experience? What is wrong with said experience? Okay. You know who we wouldn't talk about? Let's be honest. And this is probably going to ruffle some feathers. If that character was Jewish, right? If that character was Jewish, that ain't coming out of Eric July's mouth. That's all I got to say about that. Let's keep going.
Now, I've obviously created several characters myself over here at the Riververse. Some happen to be black, some not. And that's one of the things that it's just not as difficult as people may make it out to be. And there are those that are out there that love these topics constantly being, I guess, sought after, or rather, them kind of expanding upon that because that represents their real world view. So they want their characters to be representative of that, but on the other hand, it's not a difficult thing to do. You can make characters and they can just be cool. I've made Salvage, I've made obviously Isom, I've made Blood Ruth out there behind me, and one thing that none of them have had to deal with in their storylines is their race.
Congratulations, you have described the freedom of being an artist.
Yeah.
Now, why are you denigrating other artists that use that same freedom to say something about an important issue? Again, we are talking about a manga made by a Japanese person primarily for the consumption of Japanese people about an issue that affects Japanese people.
Literally.
These are a couple of the responses to the original tweet announcing the project. You can't just brush these off as a couple of trolls, as they receive thousands of likes. Artists can't even depict a reality without anti-blackness rearing its ugly head. And yes, this is a reality. My best friend, who some of you have heard me stream with, is half black and half Japanese. He was born in Japan, grew up in Los Angeles, and currently lives in Japan. He has told me stories about experiences he had when he was young and now as a grown man with his own child, and I interviewed him specifically about this.
All right. So I was so what you're saying is, Rashad, or who seen it earlier? I don't think it was Rashad, but whoever that put this on earlier, that I literally just pulled up a person because I've already seen these videos and was interested in it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it just comes full circle. That's how you know that Eric July, the Critical Drinkers, and all these other people are full of crap. They're full of it.
Cool. So I called you earlier to ask you for this interview. And
he said this video was only 12 minutes
I wanted
long.
to just know,
just
off the top of your head,
permission,
to the best of your ability, what your experience as a half black, half Japanese person has been in Japan when you were younger or when you're older, just whatever comes to mind.
I don't know, Justice Note.
Okay. When I was younger, obviously grew up in the States. Don't remember much of what happened in like '98 when we visited back in Japan. But now it's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you get treated a certain way, right? And I'm not talking about because I'm black, right? You get treated a certain way because you're an American.
I think you mentioned something about, when you were a kid and you said your dad told you what they had to do when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. So yeah, this was like before we left for the States. But if our grandparents wanted to see us, they had to sneak us in the middle of the night.
Wow. Damn.
And that was because
damn.
That is because we black.
Damn.
So like it was like
you had to sneak them in the middle of the night because they were black. That's wild. That's wild, man. That even hurts my heart to even hear that. And this is not 1960s. This is not the 1950s, the 20s. It's not the end of the 19th century. This wasn't that long ago for him. That's sad.
That, you know, if their neighbors even saw that they had black kids or black grandchildren.
Yeah. They like talk, because I don't know if I told you this. I know I talked to my brother about this many times. Japanese people, they kind of like nosy, but they're not. It's weird. I can't explain it, but they are like nosy, but they're not. So if they were to see us going in there during the day, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then my grandparents would be the talk of the town or the talk of the neighborhood.
Damn.
And it's like they don't need that type of attention.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, I have a similar experience that, you know, whenever I'm in Japan, you know, because my face looks black and, you know, Japanese comes out of my mouth. I found that Japanese people have just been accommodating, and they're like you said, really surprised that a black face is speaking Japanese, and that like opens them up more. You know, but
yeah, it does. It's like a DLC. You just unlock that shit, and they just become nicer and more accommodating. I'm dead ass serious.
I think like that's the main thing is like because you look a certain way that they expect you to talk a certain way or be a certain way, even though you are yourself Japanese, which is I always find endlessly interesting.
That's wild. He said that's like a DLC, which I've seen videos on. When I tell you I went down a rabbit hole, dude, I was watching these videos for like hours. Just watch it, just listening to people. I love hearing people's experience. Whether I agree or not, I just love listening to people, you know, and their experience and what they've been through and how they navigated getting around and stuff like that and all of that. So, like I said, those videos that I watched, that it literally prepared me for this video, and I like it. I'm loving this.
And it's not just him. There are plenty of Blasian people living in Japan with these kinds of experiences that are simply untold.
ありがとうございます。
Damn!
自分のバックグラウンドとか
First of all, God, she's gorgeous. What?
を紹介してもらっても大丈夫ですか、最初。
はい、アメリカと日本のハーフなんですけども、アメリカで生まれて5歳ぐらいの時に日本にお母さんと一緒に来て、そこから全部義務教育とか大学まで日本で過ごしました。
なるほど。日本でこういうバックグラウンドを持つ人間として生きるのと、海外で海外でもアメリカ生活するのっていうのはなんか違いがありました？
日本で過ごす感覚としてはやっぱ結構外国人として扱われるなって思ったのと、でまあ日本人じゃないっていう過ごし方をしなきゃいけないなっていうふうには日本で思ったんですよ。もともと結構ブラックなハーフとかだと、こういうカーリーヘアで絶対生まれてくる子が多いんですけど、まあ日本人ってストレートで前髪がある子が結構高校生とか多いじゃないですか。だから自分もその高校生の時代はストレートパーマ当てて前髪作ってたんですよ。だけどある時気づいてなんかカーリーヘアって素敵じゃんと思って、海外のインスタとか見るようになって。でだから結構今高校生とかでハーフの子見るとだいぶストレートにして頑張ってるなって思うんだけど、いつかその自分のカーリーがすごい可愛いっていう日が気づく時が来るから、自分もこんな。
Is her experience the same? Let's be honest, sisters that's in here. My sisters that's in here. How many times have you heard the stories of black women going into certain places and to fit in have to change their hair? Remember, there was a big thing about brothers. you couldn't have braids or nothing like that, or you couldn't have locks, because if you had locks, they try to make you cut your hair to look more presentable. You know what I'm saying? This is I'm trying to tell you, there's no difference. That's I think the problem what I have with Eric July is saying. He's trying to make it say there's no racism. We're tired of hearing it's a trope. It's no man, you can't tell me about my experience. How dare you? How dare you tell me that I can't express and be a creator and tell you what my experience is? I can't help it that I so happen to be black and go in places and Eric can't tell me he ain't been through no racist nothing. He can't tell me that. He cannot tell me that. He can't. He just don't want to get into it because now he rubbing elbows with him. You know what I mean? So the experience is the same. So, you know, Tina, Erica D. Presetta, just think about a little black girl here, because you know manga and anime is big over here, especially in the black community. It's big now in the black community. Just think of that little black girl who's reading about an experience about, like how she said, I got to straighten my hair. And how her mama is straightening her hair because of the school that she going to try to fit in with these other people. And you don't, and how she had to overcome that and embrace her love of her blackness and her curly hair. Come on, dog. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Then this dude is talking about nobody wants to hear that. It's a trope. And shut up. No, don't read it.
綺麗なカールになれるんだっていう子が増えたらいいなって。I'm Aju. I'm 26 years old. My dad's Bahamian.
That's the video I watched.
You feel like a foreigner in your own country. People don't look at me as Japanese. I never really feel like I fit in Japan.
I watched this whole thing. This was good. Oriental Pearl. Check her out. You want to watch this
Even
video?
though I grew up. I was born, grew up.
I went through a whole rabbit hole of her
Raised in
videos.
Tokyo, but that's just the story of my life.
Interesting, because you keep telling me Japanese is your strongest language and you prefer to speak in Japanese.
Yeah.
And yet you don't speak to a lot of Japanese people, or you don't feel like they want to approach you. That's sad. Do you think it's because you look foreign, or they're just...
Yeah, I think so. I think most Japanese
Her
people
her
don't
sleeve
look at
is
me
dope.
as Japanese person. Like I say konnichiwa, and then they be like, they try to speak in English, and I'm like, Nihongo hanasemasu, like I can speak Japanese, and then they still try to continue, you know, speaking English, which I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm gonna still continue speaking English.
Show the hell ass.
Damn, like we can just speak in Japanese. What is this?
By the way, I know Japanese.
Tori, I don't know if you know. I played
It's okay,
the short
shut
of this
up.
video earlier.
You know, it happens sometimes. They kind of like say something like secretly, or like when they walk pass by me, they kind of say some stuff about me. They think I don't speak Japanese, but I can hear it, and I'm like, okay.
How's your experience been dating in Japan?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, of course.
I never been in a relationship before.
So
I'm sorry, as fine as that woman is, ain't nobody getting her. Somebody go get her. That's why Birdman going to Tokyo. He going to go find her. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
as you can see, this is a reality for black people who were born and or grew up living in Japan. I ask again, what is the problem with a Japanese artist highlighting an issue in their country many of you didn't even know existed?
Facts.
It's just a thing that you can make other aspects of them, again, intriguing, compelling, and they can catch on with people of all races. Because
would you say that if they were getting ready to do a Magneto story, about his atrocities and the things that he went through during the Holocaust, would Eric July be saying the same thing? Matter of fact, if they created another character, you know what I'm saying, that had to do with the Holocaust and all the atrocities and stuff like that, where Eric July open up his big flap gummy lips and say the same thing? I think not.
what you end up running into if you do rely upon that so heavily upon that, you end up running into this issue where really it's only speaking to one particular demographic, and that's the demographic that finds, number one, this sort of thing appealing, and that's not most people.
When you say one demographic, you realize you're talking about billions of people, right? White supremacy is historically a global issue. I mean, there was an entire world war fought because of it. And even if you're not talking about that many people, that's okay. Not everything has to be for everyone.
Exactly.
As much as I don't care for his work, Tyler Perry has carved out a niche speaking to a very specific demographic and has made over $1 billion.
Facts.
This idea that you need to appeal to everyone is a flawed concept and again reinforces white defaultism, suggesting that if you hurt white people's feelings, you won't be financially successful.
Thank you.
Once again, this is a Japanese artist making a book primarily for consumption in Japan about an issue that Japanese people face in their own country. This is a story that hasn't been told there as far as I know. So even if you want to claim anti-black racism is a tired trope in the West, it's at least novel in the East. So that's all I wanted to say on this topic. I think this immediate overreaction to black people in the diaspora trying to tell their stories is ludicrous. Most of us in the West have grown up hearing white stories and legends and history. We know all there is to know about Vikings and European kingdoms and colonies. But when other groups of people try to tell their history, we got to tone it down for fear of offending people. I think this is nonsense, and I applaud Yoiko for having the balls to tell a non-majority story in a country that is ethnically 98% homogenous. I mean, when a Japanese person is more willing to tell a black story than a black man is, the only word I can think of to describe that black man is embarrassing.
Oh man, Birdman hit it again. You know, it's our turn, baby. Yo, yeah, I'm not even, I'm I don't know. I love what Birdman did here. It's funny because, you know, I watch these videos. I wanted, man, this was earlier this year. And for him to put that post of the sister, and the dude was like, you kind of ruined it in the end because I haven't watched it. I already seen, because I'm interested. I love this. Is why one of my favorite genres of books is autobiographies. Like I said, James Baldwin, you know what I'm saying, has a great autobiography. You know what I mean? Malcolm X autobiography, and hell, one of my favorite autobiographies that nobody really talks about, but it's a great book, was Bad As I Want to Be, the Dennis Rodman story. Dennis Rodman's book, the one he dressed up in a wedding dress. That damn book damn near had me crying. I read the Confessions of a Video Vixen, Karen Steffen's book. That's why I love hearing stories. I want to hear your story. I want you to tell, you know, the things that you've been through. Yes, you're going to embellish a little bit. Hell, when I tell my story, I might embellish a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let people know, you know what I'm saying, that I studied Kung Fu for many years. You know what I mean? And when it came time to fighting, the hands was too tough. And I had to put them away because it was legally deadly. So when the biscuit come around, we're like, ha, 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 ha. Get that biscuit away from me. No. Oh man, I'm playing. But let me we go wrap this up. Let me take another quick commercial break, man. Something's wrong with me. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Mac Show.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Are you going down? Then you gotta know the best way to go. On the down low.
Damn, you banking like that, and you come over here with a biscuit meal, man?
Would you like to take a survey? No. Elevator go down the hall.
It's you? shoe.
Whoop-de-doo.
We are talking about the same girl. Okay, well, what do we do? Fight a duel or something? Well, I don't know. Maybe,
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. Like this?
Slower. Bend over.
Stedman, what's going on?
Darling, are you all right?
Stedman, who was that woman?
That was Professor Haight, disguised as an ugly French lap dancer.
Ugly? She looked beautiful.
I suppose she might have been considered beautiful until you walked in the room.
Oh, Stedman, I've been dreaming of this moment. Come here.
Wild horses couldn't keep me away. Invisible robots!
Invisible robots?
beep, 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 beep.
Look out!
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. It's you. It's you. Whoop-de-doo. CK Smith with the 499 super chat. Fun fact: Afro Samurai manga was written by Takashi Okazaki, and in the anime, Afro and Ninja were English voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Facts. I love some Afro Samurai, boy. Afro Samurai is the shiznit. But you already know we got to be out here, tasting the biscuits, man. Thank you for that super chat.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
How good that biscuit is. It's like, I can smell it. I can smell it in my nose. It smells like buttery biscuits. All I need is some honey. Give me my honey. Oh, man. But again, Birdman did his thing. I love the fact that, just being on the same page, as far as me previously watching that, he bringing up the same video from Oriental Pearl and, and really see how ridiculous. You see how far Eric July would become Stretch Armstrong, Mr. Fantastic, Elastic Girl, just to stretch a point and to fit a fan base. Just to fit a fan base. Like, you're not seeing what you're doing. Yeah, certified biscuit eater. You know what I'm saying? You don't see what you're doing. Then they get mad when people call you out, call you a Sambo and all of this, call you a coon, call you trash panda, whatever. You can't really get mad because look what you're doing. You knew what you signed up for. It did get mad when the heat come. You know what I mean? Somebody said a long time ago, don't dance with the devil and then get mad when he grab on your booty. This is what you asked for. That's literally what you asked for. And again, you're an enemy of progress. So of course, anytime, like y'all know, when my man Jay was going through his stuff, and Tessa Tales or whoever, people got mad at me about that because I was going hard at Tessa Tales, pushing out false narratives and all of that. People literally got mad at me. But see, I'm built for the smoke. You know what I mean? I'm built for the Newport. There's nothing. I'm going to defend my aim. Here's the facts. Talking about people were literally mad at me because I wouldn't. You just let somebody run with the narrative. Somebody with this big platform doing a bunch of goofy shit. Yeah, then they will come back and say, well, you're just mad because you don't have the subscribers this person have. I don't care about that. I care about pushing the narrative and then, beyond pushing that narrative, just not telling the truth. Somebody got to be a deterrent. So shout out to Otterly Noah. Shout out to the Birdman. Shout out to all these people that's going after these grifters, man. And also, I did tell my homie Jay that it'd be dope if he becomes Icon and Megan becomes is it hard? Not Hardwire. Where? Hold up. What I say? Rocket. Yeah, that they recast her as Rocket, even though in the thing she's a teenager. But I mean, Megan still look good. She can still play a teenager. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah. But yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to that, man. You know, it was a great episode, man. But you already know what time it is.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Gotta go ahead and wrap this up, man. Again, thank you so very much for all of y'all that tuned in to this episode of the Dre Mac Show. Shout out to the Birdman coming through here, watching it live and all of that, man. Getting some of this biscuit tasting activity. You know what I mean? But you're right. Folks are easily manipulated, man. It's just goofy people out here. There's a lot of goofballs. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of goofies with a lot of money, too. And we see it right now with people like Eric July. But you know what I mean? What do you guys think about the video? Make sure to hit the thumbs up on the way out. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe power. We'll see you back for the Blerd AF. Where's my outro at? Because you already know I got to go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.